I wasn't born into money. I wasn't loud. I wasn't charismatic. I was useful. At 34, I was a senior analyst at a global finance tech firm, the kind of place where glass walls and cold smiles replace loyalty. I lived inside spreadsheets and probability curves. I understood credit cycles the way musicians understand rhythm. To me, debt wasn't chaos, it was choreography. And yet, despite generating millions in efficiency gains year after year, I was underpaid, overlooked, and deliberately kept small. That's how Richard liked it. CEO Richard, billionaire, keynote speaker, magazine darling. A man whose success was built on absorbing other people's brilliance and rebranding it as vision. I believed, foolishly, that if I created something undeniable, something too powerful to ignore, it would finally change everything. That belief cost me my career. The idea came together over 18 months of late nights and silent weekends. The credit cycle optimization algorithm. It wasn't just software. It was a predictive engine that tracked macroeconomic signals, consumer credit behavior, and institutional leverage to rebalance exposure before downturns hit. It could reposition assets weeks, sometimes months, ahead of market shifts. Internal simulations showed it could add $50 million annually in pure upside by avoiding losses others didn't even see coming. I documented everything. Clean code, mathematical proofs, risk assessments. And I did one fatal thing. I trusted the system. The boardroom was quiet when I finished the presentation. Richard leaned back, fingers steepled, eyes glittering. "This," he said slowly, "is extraordinary." He promised me a promotion, equity participation, and a formal patent filing under my name. HR would follow up. Legal would loop me in. 2 days later, my access badge stopped working. Security escorted me out. HR handed me a folder citing organizational restructuring. No bonus, no severance, no mention of my work. 3 months after that, Richard went on CNBC, smiling, announcing a new proprietary system that had boosted quarterly profits by $50 million. My algorithm, my stolen idea. I didn't scream. I didn't sue immediately. I went quiet. For 6 months, I did nothing but watch, trace, and document. Richard's success had inflated his ego and loosened his discipline. Billionaires don't think they can fall. That arrogance leaves fingerprints everywhere. I mapped the corporate structure, followed shell companies, traced intercompany loans, and that's when I found it. Vulnerability number 1, the offshore credit loophole. Richard had personally guaranteed billions in short-term corporate credit through offshore entities. It kept his taxes low and his leverage high, but it relied on one thing: stable stock price. The deeper I went, the uglier it became. Vulnerability number 2, IP fraud. The company had filed patents for my algorithm after I was fired. My name was nowhere on them. Worse, internal emails clearly showed Richard instructing legal to clean up authorship. That wasn't aggressive business. That was fraud. Now I had leverage. Not emotional leverage, structural leverage. The kind that doesn't shout. The kind that waits. I hired quietly a litigation firm that specialized in delayed action lawsuits. A forensic accountant who lived for tearing down billionaires. A journalist with a reputation for publishing only what she could prove twice. We didn't rush. We synchronized. The goal wasn't to win in court. The goal was to collapse the ecosystem supporting Richard's wealth. All we needed was timing. Markets were already nervous. Interest rates were twitching. Credit spreads were widening. I filed the lawsuit on a Monday morning. Wrongful termination, IP theft, fraud. At the same time, anonymous packets went to the SEC outlining the offshore credit guarantees and personal exposure Richard had hidden. By Tuesday afternoon, the journalist's story broke. By Wednesday, the stock was down 18%. By Friday, the margin call started. Richard tried to contain it. Emergency press releases, share buybacks, confident interviews. It didn't matter. His offshore loans were collateralized by stock value. As the price fell, lenders demanded cash. Cash he didn't have. The company announced temporary liquidity constraints. The market heard blood. The stock collapsed another 27%. Executives resigned. Credit lines froze. And then the unthinkable happened. The board removed Richard, pending investigation. Without the CEO's shield, everything surfaced. Hidden guarantees, undisclosed risks, fraudulent IP filings. Regulators swarmed. The company's market cap lost $11 billion in 3 weeks. Richard's personal net worth, once proudly listed by Forbes, was leveraged to the bone. He wasn't just losing money. He was losing control. Court proceedings moved fast once discovery began. Emails don't lie. Code repositories don't forget. The judge ruled the patents invalid. Ownership reverted to me. Then came the personal verdict. Richard's guarantees triggered default clauses. His offshore protections failed under regulatory scrutiny. Asset freezes followed. The word no billionaire ever expects to hear echoed through the courtroom. Bankruptcy. The settlement was quiet. $10 million to me. Full ownership of my algorithm. Public acknowledgement of misconduct. Richard left the courthouse without cameras, without applause, without legacy. Just another man who thought power made him untouchable. I didn't smile. I didn't need to. Today, I run my own firm. Transparent, ethical, profitable. People ask if revenge was worth it. I tell them this wasn't revenge. This was balance. In the end, Richard didn't lose because I was angry. He lost because he built his empire on shortcuts, and I understood his system better than he ever did. That's corporate karma.